Hi everyone, this is Kay. I just wanted to give you a quick video about how you figure out what items to buy or how you categorize items. So one of the things that you have to be prepared to do is categorize items when you look at them. So before you put anything that you're going to eat even on your plate, you have to be able to look at them and identify what those products are, what those items are. And when I say that, I mean you have to be able to put them in one of the categories. So is that item a sugar? Is that item a carb? Is that item considered protein? Is that item considered a fat? So those are the four categories that you basically want to think about when you're looking at items. So if you're putting together your dinner, if you're putting together your lunch, and you have your selection, if you're out at a restaurant or if you're home making your meal, you want to think about what your plate or your platter is going to look like, what your meal is going to look like. And I'm not saying that you should stress over it, but when you think about it and when you categorize them, it makes it easier for you to make the right decision, so to say, instead of being just put anything on your plate and then eat it and then you're like, oh shoot, I shouldn't have eaten that, or oh wow, I ate more carbs than I needed to. For instance, if you're going to eat your breakfast, breakfast is probably the easiest for me, the easiest meal for me to get through and to put together, because there's just so many things you can do with breakfast. Most of the items that are carbs are not hidden. So they're breads, they're pancakes, they're waffles, muffins, things like that. Those are all carbs and sugars. So you know that those things you're not supposed to have. The little biscuits, things like that. So those are easy. Those are the things that you know that's what these are and you shouldn't have them. So what I tend to do is have eggs, again, full eggs. You want them with the white and the yolk. Get a fat, which is bacon, sausage, ham, anything like that. And then you may do something like a super fat, which would be considered like an avocado. You might add an avocado in there to bump your fat numbers up. Lunch, you may do something, if you want to do a burger, you can do a burger. Just get rid of the patty. Load the burger up. So you might load it up with mayo. Mayo is a good fat. Load it up with mayo. You might want to do, if you like ketchup, if you have a reduced sugar ketchup. And if you don't have a reduced sugar ketchup, guess what? That's not so bad, because if you're in your low carb, low sugar lifestyle, that little bit of condiment shouldn't make that much of a difference. But if you've been eating a ton of sugar to begin with, then yeah, it will make much of a difference. But if you haven't been eating too much of it, the little bit probably won't do anything. So you want to do ketchup. You can have your lettuce, tomato. You can load it up with maybe some pickles. If you like pickles, you can, again, load up that burger. Just get rid of the bun. No French fries. Sorry, no French fries. There are alternatives, cauliflower alternatives, if you're home or if you're traveling and you're able to buy things from a supermarket or so. They have tater tots that are cauliflower tater tots. Look in your grocer's freezers. Kroger, Walmart, Publix, all of these places have riced cauliflower rice. They have tater tots that are cauliflower tater tots. They have, now they're doing pastas out of zucchini. So they're really up in their game. Like I said before, the consumers are realizing that they have to really market to the pre-diabetic, diabetic community, or else they're going to lose business. So now you can find those things. You can find julienne vegetables that are zucchini pastas, spaghetti pastas. We do edamame noodles. So you can find them, for your dinners and for your lunches. And that's what we do. They have mashed potatoes now they're not potatoes. They are cauliflower, but they taste really good. At first, when we saw them coming out, they weren't that tasty, but the ones that are coming out now are true to taste. So they have those things. So your problem is not your meats. I don't want you to think that you have to give up meats. You can eat as much meat as you want. The meat is not where the problem is. The meat does not have any carbs or any sugar in it. Remember, I told you the meats are considered protein and fat. That is not where the issue is. The issue is with everything around the meat. And you can still eat pork, you can still eat fish, you can still eat, whatever it is, the meats that you had before, you can still have those. If you go out and you're trying to figure out what should your meal be, you go to, Fridays or anything. I used to have that issue when I first started the keto lifestyle. I would go out and I didn't know what the heck to eat. It was just like, okay, give me a steak and broccoli. And they always give you that, well, do you want rice? Do you want, potato? No, just give me what I asked for. Just give me the steak and vegetables. Now, the other side to that is when I first started the lifestyle, I didn't realize that if you overeat, so to say, on vegetables, the vegetables have a tendency also, if your body doesn't know what to do with it and you give it too many vegetables, it has a tendency to turn those vegetables into carbs as well, and then they store as fat. Because again, if you overload your body with anything, your body doesn't know what to do with it, so it automatically turns it into fat and stores it as fat. We want our bodies to accept what we're giving it and put it where it's supposed to go, where it's needed, and then anything that's not needed, it comes out. We're not trying to get it stored as fat. So that's the whole thing. And then we're trying to have our bodies use the fat, the extra fat that we're giving it for energy. That's going to be our energy source, that fat that we're giving it. So that's basically what the keto diet is. It forces your body to work off of fat again. You bring all of those fats in. You keep your sugars and your carbs low so that you don't spike your sugar, which is meaning you're overloading your system with this thing that your body cannot tolerate. And then you have that whole issue. So we wanted to intake what we're giving it, use it as energy, put it where it's supposed to go for nutrients, and whatever is left over, get rid of it. Don't store it. That's what we're doing. So again, if you go to your stores and buy those items, they are available. You just have to look for them. The other part of the keto diet is, or keto lifestyle, depending on which way you're going. I'm not judgmental. If you want to do a diet because you want to fit into jeans, or you want to fit into a dress, or you have an event you're going to, you're getting married, hey, you're still doing something that's good for you, and you're trying something new, that will definitely work. I'll tell you one thing, the keto lifestyle, the keto diet does work. If you do it correctly. And I mean, think about it. With anything you do, if you reduce what you're doing, it's going to show results. But we're going to keep doing this long term and keep it going. Once you start, your body starts realizing what you're doing, you're going to start losing anywhere from 3 to maybe 6 or 7 pounds a week. And when that was happening to me, I thought it was the best thing ever. I was doing the dances and, this is wonderful. I'm losing this weight. Keep drinking water, drink as much water as you can. And what you'll start to realize too with keto is that you're not hungry. You find yourself, you're not as hungry anymore. Now, when you first start off, you might have those cravings, because guess what? That sugar drug is going to say, what are you doing? We need carbs, we need sugar. And it's going to start telling you, grab a muffin, grab a this, grab a that. Grab something that's carbs, grab something that has sugar. I need it. Your body will be doing that to you. And it's up to you to fight that urge. Now, for those of you that are not opposed to eating pork rinds and things like that, pork rinds and pickles are going to be your best friends. The pork rinds, they give you that fat that your body is going to be craving. So if you get hungry and you start feeling like you need to do a rush, so to say, don't go towards the sugar, go towards the fat, because we're converting our bodies to working for energy off of the fat. So go to your pork rinds. What I did when I first started the lifestyle, I always had Ziploc bags with pork rinds in them, or the small bags of pork rinds. I would run to the gas stations I would buy out the whole rack of pork rinds and keep those always, one in my car, one in my bag, somewhere in my desk at work. And I would, if I felt like I was coming down a little bit on energy, or I felt like my body was telling me I need sugar, I'd start eating those pork rinds, and before you know it, that urge was gone, and eventually you don't have those urges anymore. But it's just those first additional days. Now, I'm not telling you to go hardcore and go cold turkey, as they would say. Everybody can't do that. I did that, but everybody can't do that. If you want to wean yourself off, that's probably a better idea. So what you could do is, if you have your 3 meals a day, make one of them carbless or sugarless, or less sugar, less carb. So for your breakfast, skip the biscuit, skip the waffles, skip the muffin or whatever it is. Don't have it. Just have the protein, which is the egg, and a fat, which is bacon, sausage, or something, and ask for avocado. Or if you want to go out and buy avocados and have it that way. Or if you want to do it for lunch, same thing. Ditch the bread on your burger. Or for dinner, try to get, if you're going to have a meal that has rice in it, buy some cauliflower rice. The cauliflower rice comes flavored now. They have them with herbs. They have them with garlic. They have them where they come now with like a Italian sauce or so, depending on whatever type of meal you're having. Or you can try to opt for the mashed potatoes. If you're having like a pork chop or something, what we like to do is we do pork chops, and then we use the mashed potatoes. They have like cheese and chives mashed potatoes, but it's of course cauli-tatoes. It's perfect meal, and then we'll do a vegetable on the side. So, whether it's broccoli or something like that. So there are ways to get around it. And again, like I said, the marketing community is making it easier and easier. Every time I see something new that they push out, I think it's wonderful. So I always want to give you something else, like a bonus in my videos. So one of my bonuses is, I never said you couldn't have chocolate, and I never said you couldn't have sweets. You really do need to have sweets in your keto lifestyle or your keto diet, because that fat, and I shouldn't say sweets, it's actually fats. You want those fats to kind of boost your numbers up, because remember, your body is working off of that fat. So we have cookies that we can make. We have chocolate that we can have. Remember, the only thing that makes these things bad for us are that they that they use sugar, or they use flour. So the difference is, once we take those things out, which we can do, then those things are not as bad anymore. So again, if we have a cookie, mostly what's bad with that cookie is the type of flour they use and the sugar they use. If we can replace those with a flour and a sugar that's not going to spike our blood sugar, guess what? We can still have a cookie. Same thing with chocolate. All chocolates are not created equal. They're not. So if you look at some of the chocolates, and it's usually the dark chocolates that are the better ones, look at the numbers on them. You'll look at them and go, oh my, they're not that bad after all. I can have this chocolate. It's the sugar in this one is not as bad. The carbs in it is not as bad. You just have to look at the pieces that you can have. So remember, those serving size make a difference. Now, There are companies that do market towards, keto dieters and keto lifestyle people. So they make their chocolates especially for us. So they're out there. They make their cookies for us. We have cereals that we can buy. I'm going to tell you all of those things where you can find them. So it's not like, again, like I told you in the beginning, in my beginning videos, if it's not something that I can sustain, it's not something that I'm going to stick with. This is something that you can stick with. It's just going to be that you know what you have to do. So again, remember, you have to know how to identify what it is that each item is that you're about to eat. You need to know, okay, if I'm looking at French fries, those are carbs. I shouldn't eat that. Or if you eat them, you shouldn't be eating more than 2 or 3, which is enough to make you mad. So I don't know why you would do it. But, if you have biscuits and things like that, you know that, look, those are carbs. They're going to turn to sugars. They're going to spike you. And that's not a good thing. Muffins, same thing. Rice, white rice, brown rice, they're all considered the same. Remember when I told you your body cannot tell the difference between certain sugars. Fruits are not your friend. Okay, I'm sorry to say, I've talked to people at the gym and they're like, oh yeah, I was told I was pre-diabetic, and I asked them, okay, so what are you doing now that you know you're pre-diabetic? Oh, I'm having smoothies. I'm drinking all these smoothies. I'm having all these. No, you're doing it incorrectly. Stop drinking all those. But I'm having bananas. No, bananas are actually the worst things you can have when you're doing keto. Bananas have the most sugar out of all fruits there are. The fruits that, and I'll try to see if I can find a link to a list that shows how many sugars are in fruits. The best fruits that you can have that have the least sugars are things that are berries. Strawberries have a little bit more, but blueberries and raspberries are the ones that have the least sugar in them, and they're probably also some of the smallest ones too. Grapes are not as bad. If I have grapes, I try not to have more than a handful, which again is sometimes enough to make you mad, but sometimes all you need is to just know that you can have some fruits. Stay away from orange juice. Orange juice is pure sugar. I don't care what it says, not from constant, it's all sugar. I love orange juice. I've always loved orange juice. What I tend to do is, if I really, really, really want orange juice, I do a little bit of orange juice and a lot of water, which again is enough to make you mad because it's not true to taste. And I like, remember, true to taste. So things like that. But I mean, if you just can't give it up right away, again, if you're just starting out, no one is expecting you to just go like I did, cold turkey, and jump in, feet first and take the brunt of whatever comes. So, any little step you take towards your goal is a wonderful step. So stick to it. There are a lot of things that you can do to get your fats in. Macadamia nuts are an excellent source of fat. What else can I tell you are excellent source of fat? I make a wonderful mug cake, M-U-G cake. So it's basically chocolate, Nestle chocolate with some creamer, and an egg, and I'll make one of those one day and show you how to have that wonderful goodness. And I eat that with a little of my low carb vanilla ice cream, and that is just divine. It's almost like having a lava cake with ice cream. So little by little we'll get there. Start changing out your oils. If you're using Crisco and all those things, start trying to buy coconut oil and olive oil. Again, you don't have to buy everything all at once. Start phasing things out as you start to finish them or get rid of them. But it's a journey. It is a journey, and it's a lifestyle, and we'll get there. And again, if there's anything that you have a question about, just ask me, and I'll let you know exactly what it is and what it is not. Buy real butter. If you buy milk is good. Remember, you're eating for fat, so don't buy low carb things. Don't buy low fat things. You want to buy full fat things. But what you don't want to do again is you're buying all this full fat stuff, but you're still buying your full carb stuff and your full sugar stuff. Again, you don't want to overload on all three. So as you wean off of your carbs and your sugars, you want to bring up your fats. So bringing up your fats is going to mean that, again, you're going to have to get some of those fat items in your household to consume. Cream cheese. So I make, again, a really good cheesecake without the regular sugar. We use stevia in there and sugar-free syrups, flavored syrups. So the Torani syrups that are sugar-free is what I use to flavor my cheesecakes. And again, those are really, really good. We love that in this household. And people that have come here have eaten them and not known that they were the type of process that we were doing, without regular sugar. It's just, again, your body doesn't know the difference. All your tongue knows is that it wants something sweet. When it gets into your system, it knows that it's not sugar. So it doesn't store as that. But again, the opposite can work too. You put sugar in, your body knows it's sweet. When it gets into your system, it knows it's sugar and it's going to turn it into fat. So you have to remember that whatever you put in your mouth, yes, it tastes like sugar, it tastes sweet, it tastes this. It still has to go into your system to process. And your system is going to know what it is. You can't fool your system. Okay, so again, if you like this video, subscribe, click like, share it with your friends, and we'll be back with a lot more. Again, if there's anything you want me to help you with figuring out how to make, let me know and we'll try to figure it out together. Take care of yourselves and good luck with your low carb and your low sugar eating. See you soon.